Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20, breaks free of the 25 to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it to Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well then, I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Listen, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the shows page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll also be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, listen, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching us on our mobile app, come on, man. Don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. We got a mobile app, people. I keep up with the program. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you get your apps from. It doesn't matter. Just go there. All right, wherever you get them from, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Venture, Woolworth, wherever you get your apps from, you go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence Council the Third. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching us on our Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. All right, we have our own Roku channel. So, if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor, download. Do it. Do it now. Do it good. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel. All right, put it there next to Netflix, Max, Hulu, Prime, Disney Plus, Stars, Showtime. You've done it. You've already downloaded some to your TV. If not, have your kids do it. They know how to do it quick, fast, in a hurry. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me, Shawn. It's an inside joke. You want to follow me personally online? You want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. You want to know what I did? Here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. And if you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IGer and you do it just for the gram, we'll just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. We have a phenomenal show, but I need you to get interactive with us on whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app. Do me a favor. Do me a solid, all right? Go to that platform, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. Okay, we'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And you know what? That is what makes this the best Chicago sports talk morning show around. And it's you. So, like, you know what? Ain't nobody scared, baby. Bring them all. Questions, comments, smart ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's go. Let's see who we got. Man, this chat line is jumping like a son of a gun. Woo, Charlie. My man Cornelius Squalls in the Mickey Ficky house. What up, Cornelius? Lavette Lee in the Mickey Ficky house. Mama, good morning. Thank you very much. Good morning. Armando Emeterio. Lara Jr., my man Junior, my personal protector for so many years. My man Junior's in the house. J2K. The Walls of Jericho in the house. Waldron SLFG. I like it. I like it a lot. I like a lot. Black Diamond in it, Mother Hubbard. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Michelle Walls in the house. Good morning on House Music Monday. Woo! Yes, they did, Doctor. We're going to dive into that. I'm looking forward to that. I really, really am. My man Luis Mejia in the house. Good morning, Papa. Rise and grind. I saw you're cooking. You're meal prepping, baby. Man, Luis that takes a lot of dedication to meal prep. What's up, Papa? Hey, great stuff. I wish I had that dedication to meal prep because Lord knows I need it. I don't know. Did I say, yeah, Cornelius, you were the first one in here. My mistake. My mistake. Well, it's not even my mistake. I was about to say hello to you again. So you know what? Cornelius, we'll say hello to you again. Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects are going to chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can tell you. That I can tell you. We have a great show. I'm waiting. A guy that he was getting back to me. He said he had some things he's got to try and figure stuff out. He might have to do. So Frank Arriaga, right? From, if you remember, he's been on the show for. He was on the show a while ago. There we go. He's gonna try and come on today. He's got he's gonna try and come on today. All right. I can't even tell you. You know, it's funny. It's really funny. Everybody's like, well, the Shane Waldron hire, he worked with, Quarterback Collective, and that's where Caleb Williams worked. So you do the math. It's an indictment, or it indicates that they're drafting Caleb. And I'm like, no, it's actually not. Because if you think about it, Shane Waldron brought back or revived the career of Geno Smith. So now you can say it's a Justin Fields hire. See, people have their own agenda. And I'm not going to lie. I want Justin Fields. I think you know that. I think, in my opinion, I think it's better if you bring him back. He's a leader. He's a leader of this team. And I understand all the reasonings or the reasons for drafting Caleb. I get it. I understand. I don't think it's the best course of action. That's all. So, don't try and convince me, because you're not. People want to throw stats. When you start throwing stats, I'm like, okay, you're done. You're not football smart. You're not when they throw stats. So he's 10-28. Well, he's the bottom of the league in this. He's brought, you realize Lamar Jackson had 150, 160 yards passing yesterday, 100 yards rushing. But no one's complaining about that. No one's saying, oh, my goodness. That's what he did all year. That's Lamar's game. That's Lamar's game. If the Bears win, and listen, I am dying I'm dying over here. I'm dying, Jerry. I am dying I will be rooting my ass off for the Baltimore Ravens. If you watched the show, you saw the clip I posted last week from Dan Orlovsky. And I think that is so pertinent. So, especially with this Justin Fields conversation, it's pertinent. It's really, 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 yeah. Bellissimo from across the pond. Good afternoon, sir. I'd say top of the morning, but it's not morning over there where you are. It is afternoon. Actually, might even be evening. What are you, 7 hours ahead of us? I want to say. It'll be at late afternoon, early evening. Okay. All right. So my guy Frank is going to join us. Yes. Thank you. So he's going to join us. Just got back to me. Excellent. Awesome. I like it. We got some Blackhawks to talk. All right. We have some Bulls to talk. I like it a lot. And of course, we have some Bears to talk. Okay. Oh, 6 hours. Okay. So it's 3:15 your time. Good afternoon, sir. Got Caleb and Drake all 22. Nice. You're gonna start some Jalen. Okay. Cool. Yeah, bro. If you wanna do that, let me know. Just direct DM me, bro, and I will. We'll set a time and a time. All right. I'll make sure I can clear my schedule. Yep, 3:16. Beautiful. This is a big deal. It's a really big deal. And one that I don't take lightly. One that I think, and listen, this literally could change the course of the Bears franchise. It could. You know, we've talked about it before. Some people have head coaching aspirations. A lot of people do. But you don't know what it's like being in that seat. It's a different animal. It's a different animal being in that seat. And some people, their best position is coordinator, OC, DC, one or the other. Okay, just because that's where they fall. Not everybody's meant to be a head coach. I don't know if Shane Waldron wants to be a head coach. I don't. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out a lot as the time draws closer. All right, because that came out this morning. Tom Pelissero broke the news. Okay. And when I heard the news, man, I was where was I? I was in Jewel. I was in Jewel. Or if you're from Chicago, I was in the Jewels over there. I was in the Jewels. And I had to go. What I had to get? I had to get some eggs. I had to get some milk. I had to get some. We got meat. We got vegetables. Egg and milk. Eggs and milk. I stopped. I'm like, oh snap! And I had to text. Text Steve. I'm like, Steve, I need a flyer. I need all this stuff and standing right in the middle. Well, luckily there's mostly workers there. About 7:00 in the morning. So, but that's right. I got the news. AC Adam in the house. Good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. We're going to get deep into it. My guy Frank's going to call us at 10:00. But listen, here's what we're going to do. Yes. because he's in Texas. So he's yes. This I'm aware of, Barelissimo. No, it's a coincidence. I mean, you came in right after I said here. Philip Barelissimo Waldron is the new Bears OC. He's also a consultant for the QB Collective, where Caleb Williams has begun off-season draft prep training. Coincidence? I think not. No, I think it is. I think it is because you can also go down the route saying, hey, wait, he revived Geno Smith's career in Seattle, so now it's a Justin Fields hire. Just as easily as you can say, oh, it's a Caleb Williams hire. You can either way. Either way. But I like the hire. I do. I'm a big fan of the hire. I am a big fan. Big fan. You know, this is a it's an important hire. And this is what we have to understand. This is what we have to embrace. And I'm excited because we got a guy who's done it before. You know, we got it. How many times did we have so many youngsters, first-time play callers? It's like, yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? And we got a guy who's done it. That's the one thing that I wanted. Okay, so with him, you understand that he knows what he wants to do. He knows, you brought Geno Smith back. All right, he revived his career. He even got Geno Smith got a nice little fat ass contract. Okay, so shows you he knows how to play to the strengths of a quarterback. So I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see who else. Walter Jericho, exactly what I just said. Yeah. What I like most about Walton is that he has experience calling plays and turning around a vet QB and Geno. Both things Fields needs the most. Yes. Yeah. The hiring is good. So my question is he going to have, and this is kind of just talking out loud before, should I sit up a little more? Come down a little bit. There we go. My question is how much leeway he's going to have, how much Eberflus wants to get in on him. You know what I mean? There's a couple of different questions I have with this particular hire. Oh, don't get me wrong. I love the hire. Period. I love the hire. I'm just interested now that we got an experienced play caller, how much is Matt Eberflus want to kind of get in? Is he, we have it. The one thing we've talked about and everyone's talked about, and for obvious reasons, is the need for the OC. We need an OC. We need an OC. We got to do, is it going to be for Justin? Is it going to be for Caleb? We needed an OC, a good OC. We got it. But what's been lost in the whole, in all this commotion is a DC. Is a talk for defensive coordinator. That's what's been lost in this whole thing. So, interesting to me. Very. If you guys saw, and I thought this was cool. And see, this is why I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are already talking, thinking, yeah, we have to look at other coaches now. Who's going to fill out this roster or this coaching staff? All right, because here's one of the things you're going to need. One of the important hires on this staff is a wide receiver coach. The wide receiver coach, the wide receiver room is has underperformed except for DJ Moore. Darnell Mooney has regressed. Tyler Scott hasn't been able to step up in the big moments. Bayless Jones hasn't been able to step up in the big moments. So we need a receiver coach to get these guys to play well. I don't know where Tyler Scott's psyche is, because, man, he had a tough rookie year. And you've got to make some of the catches that he dropped. You just have to. This is the NFL. So the big boys, you make big boy catches. And it gives you confidence personally. It gives confidence to your quarterback. It gives confidence to your play caller. So, wide receiver coach to me is the next important hire. I'm not worried about DC, because if you don't get to DC, guess what? Eberflus, you go back and call it again. You call it a great defense. It's your calling card. Bellissimo says Drake may breakdown coming on my channel later. If you don't mind the promo, I don't mind it at all. Make sure you check out Bellissimo's channel on YouTube. He does a good job of breaking down players. This is an exciting time for Bears fans. Okay, exciting time. If this guy over here, okay, if he's able to, Shane Waldron, if he's able to revive Justin or get right, if he's a stickler, okay, for the details, okay, or, and we have to include this, or if he holds Caleb Williams accountable, whoever the quarterback is going to be. I love and I want Justin Fields here, but I also understand that the possibility of him leaving is here. I don't think so, and I'll tell you why later, but I don't think Justin Fields is going anywhere. It has to do with the politics of football. It has to do, listen, follow the money. Okay? Follow the money. And I'm going to give you some more. I'll give you guys some money trails. There you go. I couldn't think of it. Money trails. I'll give you some money trails to find or to follow. Okay? And this is why I think Justin is staying here. And for those of you, and I have no problem arguing or people, but don't just throw facts out. Don't say, "Oh, well, you reset the clock." It doesn't matter. Justin's not going to be he's not going to be in a position to command 40 mil, 50 mil. He's not in that position. So don't worry about that. You got all these number one picks. They're all budgeted. You know exactly what you got, how much you got to pay each of them for the next 5 years. If you can make it work with the benefits, with the salary of Justin, once you re-sign him, if he stays. I'm giving you real, live, behind the scenes reasons that people, normal, regular fans may not see, might not agree with. But these are factors that carry a lot of weight. We're going to talk about those on the other side. So listen, so don't go anywhere, folks. Here's what we're going to do. Keep it locked right here. And we're going to do top of the morning topics on the other side. Keep it locked right here, Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
As Lambeau is rocking at the start. Here's Fields trying to break free. He does and picks up the first. They had him.
They need to step up today.
2nd and 6 on the bootleg. Planting, firing. Boy, he threaded that one. That was some pass to DJ Moore.
Doing it the right way.
Now on 1st down. He fakes it to Herbert. Throws, and again he connects. This time he's got St. Brown. 3rd and 5. 11th play of the drive. And there's Love in trouble. Wrapped up back at the 25-yard line. Here's Fields. And it's caught.
That was really well said right there. Made that simple.
1st and 10. Here is Moore. Oh, that was horse collar-like.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning of Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of CBS. Oh, I don't know why. How crazy. Those clips courtesy of CBS. Those were our Bears. The Bears. Last game. Frustrating. But listen, guys, you know how we do the first segment of every show. It's called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Yay. Let's talk about it, baby. Let's talk about it. I gotta get a little thing over top of the morning for up here over my left shoulder. I think we're gonna do that. We'll get this, get it done. See the first top of the morning topic on Saturday. The Bullies, baby. The Bulls beat the Grizzlies, the Memphis Grizzlies. It was a beatdown at home, 125-96. Whew. That was nasty. Ayo DeSumo, Chicago's very own, he dropped 20 points, leading the way. DeMar DeRozan, 18 points. Kobe White, 17 points. Drummond, the walking double-double, 15 and 10. Zach LaVine was out again. He re-injured his ankle. He re-injured something. He's always – this situation is really making this really, really difficult for us. You better just grow the hell up and stop playing around. Damn, dude. It's just – it's frustrating at times, dude. It really, really, really is. So tonight, the next top of the morning topic, the Bulls travel to Phoenix to face the Suns out in the land of the sun. Tip-off is 8 o'clock tonight. You can watch NBC Sports Chicago, or you can listen to it on their flagship station, 670 AM. The next top of the morning topic tonight is what? Tonight, the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are in Vancouver. They're on the left coast. They're out west facing the Canucks. Puck drop is 9 p.m. Remember, this will be 7 o'clock their time. 9 p.m. You can watch that game on NBC Sports Chicago Plus, or you can listen to them on their flagship station, 7:20 a.m. Excuse me. Pardon me. Good. No, we're good, guys. We're good. See, people text like Frank. It's good. So I'm excited. Blackhawks are doing well. I mean, again, they're hurting. All right, Connor Bedard's out. He's skating, but he's in a no contact jersey, so he's not allowed to practice hard. No contact. He's also not allowed to take slap shots because apparently when you take slap shots, you grit your teeth. And as it with the broken jaw, it's not conducive to it right now. James Ford in the Mickey Ficky house. Good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. You know what, Junior? Yes. Let's not forget how excited we are that the stupid Packers lost. Okay? I'm going to be petty for a moment. I'm telling you, the internet is undefeated. I can't believe I didn't download that one. Son of a biscuit. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I didn't download that. Oh, this would have been the best. It'd been a little controversial, but it would have been the best. DC's in the Mickey Ficky house. Good morning, Papa. I agree with you. That is classic. I love it. If you don't know who that little kid is, where have you been? You don't know where that kid's been. Oh my God, that's awesome. So if you remember on Twitter, might even have been on Instagram as well. He's a little kid who tried to staple his genitalia. And so what he does, so they added the music of Flashdance. So if you see it, we're all going to hell just for laughing because it's a little kid and he staples his little pee-pee. So he's holding himself and he's doing so you got the music coming on for Flashdance. And he's going, and they got it in kind of like a boomerang setting. or he's going back and forth and back and forth. They stop and he's going back. He's like, ah. So now somebody just added the nacho cheese, the Green Bay t-shirt, the whole 9. But I am very happy. Look at this. Packers have lost 5 playoff games with a lead in the final 5 minutes since 2000, the most of any NFL team. And yes, I'm going to shit on them because I don't like the Packers. I don't like their fan base. They've had incredible success against us, but they had unbelievable failure against the San Francisco 49ers. But that's enough for those jamokes. The next half of the morning topic, and it's the one everyone's talking about, baby, Shane Waldron. The Bears, per Tom Pelissero, who first broke the news, the Bears are hiring Shane Waldron as their new offensive coordinator. And let me tell you something. I really like what he brings to the table. The biggest thing that some people have mentioned on here is his experience. Crazy, we go get a guy with experience, huh? Crazy. God forbid we get a guy who's called plays before. What the hell's wrong with us there? Now one wants to call me. What the heck? You know, here's the thing I like. We'll take his picture off. You could look at me instead. Here's the thing I like. Here's his resume. In 05 and 07, he was a grad assistant at Notre Dame. We got his Charlie Weiss. All right. In 08, offensive quality control coach for the Patriots. 09, the Patriots tight end coach. All right. And Buckingham Brown and Nichols School. I don't know if that's a high school or not. He was offensive coordinator. Then 2012 to 2013's UMass. He was the tight end. 2014, 2015, he was the UMass O-line coach. 2016, he was with the Washington Redskins offensive quality control coach. 2017, he was with the Rams with Sean McVay he was their tight ends coach. In 2018 with the Rams, he was the passing game coordinator. In 2019 with the Rams, he was the passing game coordinator and a quarterback's coach. In 2020, he was just the passing game coordinator with the Rams. 2021, 2022, and 2023, he was the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. And now he's the offensive coordinator for the Bears. This guy's called plays. All right. Called plays for 3 seasons there. All right. Called it. Part of the passing game coordinator. This guy has had experience, and this is what I like. This is what I like. Okay, this is what I really, really like. I'm fired up about it. Let's call him more people. Oh my goodness! Everyone wants to call me now, right? And it's not in either way. It's a difficult hire to see which way polls is leaning. Okay, you can go he's Justin staying route because you say, hey, look what he did with veteran quarterback Geno Smith. He could do the same thing with Justin. Boom. Or you could say, no, it's a Caleb Williams hire because he works for Quarterback Collective and Caleb Williams is training there for the draft. So it means that. So either way. Also, they have the same representation as the head coach. Same agency. Well, yeah, it is a lot of remove for him. And here's the thing. It's a lot of remove, but if Justin stays and Justin balls out, he's gone. He's going to get a head coaching gig. He's gone. Just mark it in your books. And I think he's okay with that. He's like, because we were able to talk to him because Pete Carroll got fired. So now you can talk to the assistants because he is technically not fired yet from Seattle. But if the head coach is fired, then his staff is fair game. So the Bears pounced on it. I like this. It was him or Kubiak. I think it was those two guys that were. Kubiak was the guy on my list, number one. Actually, I take that. No, he was number one. I should say Waldron was number 3. So the important things are now, who's his quarterback coach going to be? Well, we know his offensive line coach is going to be. Okay, that's Chris Morgan because he's not going anywhere. He's going to be here. He was the only member retained. I don't know if I like it or not. And if Waldron comes in and is successful with the run game, because he's done a good amount of running. So he's not going to abandon the run. But if he comes in, I agree with you, Cornelius. They couldn't wait around for Kubiak. But if he comes in and is successful with the run, Lord help us. Doesn't matter which quarterback's here. Hopefully for me, it's Justin Fields. Because if he does a good enough job with the run, I assume we're going to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. Assume we're going to draft. And Tyler Scott could be that, it could be a breakout year. He could have just had a crap year. I don't know. Bayless Jones, same thing. Could have had 2 crap years. So there's a lot. There's a lot to be said, a lot that I'm excited about here. Very unbear-like to sign a guy with experience. Notice the Bears always like to. You know what? We got to take a quick break. I got to take a quick break. All right. And on the other side, we'll finish up. So don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here, Shawn and Maya on Sports Zone Chicago. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the Army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators. A passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds. Help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Every day we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Accelerates into traffic, draws the defense, finds Williams. Bang, bang, bang. Really good games this past week. White blows by him, though. Drummond the tap out. Sets the screen instead. Io just has plenty of free space to easily put that in. Again, that's Williams. DeMar drives. DeMar to the rim for two.
Storing away these games that you're supposed to win.
Carter to DeRozan with the scoop. Speaking of wins, the Lamb crew on TNT. He thought he was talking with like the local broadcast, and then he heard Shaquille O'Neal's voice as White puts down lines at the beginning of the year. You're starting to see it now. Just defense. Terry to Carter to cap off the night. You got
Terry with the kill out right there.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning at Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago. Those were the Bullies on Saturday beating the dog snot out of the Memphis Grizzlies. Just that was just nasty. And I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I'm more than okay with it. All right, 125 to, what was it, 96? I'm more than okay with it. All right, there's times where, you know, we've gotten dog walk. We had no shot, and nobody cares. All right, it's the NBA. It's pro sports. It happens. We're talking about, let's see. Olsen, Cohen, or Thomas Brown could be Waldron's replacement if he leaves, and those are good OCs, in my opinion. Yeah, they might bring someone over. So we got to figure out who the quarterback coach is going to be. Does he pick his own? Does he, you know, it's interesting. I'm just wondering how it plays out. All right. DC, we just might have an all-star offensive coaching staff, and that will be because of polls. Yeah. That's a possibility, and I like it. And the thing that I really like about it is the order of operations. Okay, now please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. No, not that order of operations from math class in grammar school. I'm talking about the order of operations, the offensive coordinator to the quarterback coach. Maybe you have a passing game coordinator. Okay? Maybe you get a passing game coordinator who you say, hey, if he decides to go, you can be the OC here. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of ways to get this done. So I'm liking it. Derek said, polls that Flus through the higher the first time and he failed. It won't be a second time. That's my opinion. Yeah, it's possible. It's very possible. Very, very possible. So, a lot of good stuff. Here's why. Let me tell you something. Let me break it down to you, and I'll be shocked if the Bears end up trading Justin Fields, and here's why. Let me give it to you. Okay? Nowhere else do people think, nowhere. I shouldn't say nowhere. I'm not the only person who thinks this. I heard someone else say it as well. Here's why I think Justin Fields stays. Okay? It's politics. It's all about the money. The Washington Redskins have the Washington Commanders have the second overall pick in the NFL draft. So if the Bears take Caleb Williams, he's not going to Washington, obviously. But the NFL wants him to go to Washington. Commanders, the Washington franchise, wants him to be their quarterback. Here's why. One, he's a local kid. One of my college teammates was his high school coach. I'm getting him on soon. I spoke with him last week, so he's going to be on later this week or next week. Just truth be told, him and Olaf Ashano, the big tackle from Penn State, they were on the same team that my buddy coached. Just neither here nor there. But that'd be wild if we got both of those high school teammates here in Chicago. But I digress. Magic Johnson is part of that ownership group in Washington, if you don't recall. He understands this play. You bring him home. You bring Caleb Williams home to D.C. to bring that franchise back to prominence. It does a lot of things. First and foremost, it puts asses in the seats. People from that area, he went to Gonzaga High School. People from that area are going to want to go see him because he's a local kid. And what does that mean? It puts asses in the seats. It sells jerseys. Okay? A lot of influx for a franchise that was god-awful. A lot more money coming in. We're talking merchandising. You're going to have the Caleb Williams jerseys. You're going to have the Caleb Williams t-shirts. You're going to have the Caleb Williams everything. Think of what it did here in Chicago when the Bulls drafted Derrick Rose. Think of the impact it had. Dude, everybody, it was insane. It was a fever pitch here in Chicago when the Bulls drafted Derrick Rose. And trust me, that was coordinated. Don't give me that nonsense. They won the lottery. Stop it. They understood what player falls best where and would help the franchise the most. Well, Derrick was the best player coming out of college. He's from Chicago. Let him go back there. We had been down for a while. And look, it got us to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is what they want Washington to do. Imagine if Caleb Williams can get this franchise into the playoffs, God forbid the NFC Championship game. God forbid. The NFC East sucks. The Giants suck. The Cowboys just got their ass kicked. They may want to move on from Dak. Washington. And who's the other team? There's one other team in the NFC East. Philly. They're having trouble since their coordinators have been gone. So you could have one. You have one bright, shiny. I don't want to say toy, but one young superstar in D.C., where he's from. Let's see. It would delay that. Oh, no. You mean when you say Walter Jericho, do you mean next year, meaning 24, or this season in 25? What do you mean? I think this season is playoff time. In 2025, we're serious Super Bowl contenders. Is that what you mean? We're set up to win next year. Are you talking in 24 coming up this season? Is that what you mean? Because that's what I think we're playoffs. We gotta get the playoffs. Okay. Yeah. Yep. I think you meant right now. Not right meow. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, when I watched Lamar this weekend, that's Justin. Lamar has had good offensive coaching since he was drafted. Yeah. I think Justin's a better passer than Lamar, and that's no diss on Lamar. But But this is why I think Fields stays. It's money. You have to follow the money. I know our fandom gets in the way a lot. I know our emotions get in the way a lot, but they don't deal with emotions. They deal with money. What's the bottom line? Where does Caleb Williams go that makes the NFL more money? And I'm not saying that they're not going to make a lot of money here in Chicago. I'm not. Because you have a shitload of Caleb Williams, 13 jerseys coming out. I get it. Tyler Scott has to come up off that number. I get it. But what better place than this kid for this kid to go to than the hometown team? It doesn't matter if he's a Washington fan or not. But you send him home to Washington, that place, the DMV area, that's D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, for those of you who are unaware of what that area is called, the DMV. The DMV area is going to be rocking. Going to be rocking. Which is why, remember, it leads perfectly into my plan. I love it when a plan comes together. So now my Chicago Bears say, hey, listen, Washington, we're going to swap picks. I'll take your number 2. Okay, I want a 2025 first rounder, 2026 first rounder. And don't worry about the second pick. Just give me Daron Payne. Because we're getting a player. Give me Daron Payne. That's the 3-tech. Reunite him with Montez Sweat. And if you don't want to give him to him, good. Give us Terry McLaurin. I don't think they're going to want to come up off Terry McLaurin because now you have a legitimate wide receiver of Williams. Then you ask for Jonathan Allen. In that order. Remember I talked about that last week? Daron Payne, Terry McLaurin, Jonathan Allen. In that order. But you work on Daron Payne first. Say, hey, you'll take his big contract off your books. We'll take it. And then you got Montez Sweat, Daron Payne, Keith Billings. Billings at the nose, and we just drafted another edge rusher. DeMarcus Walker will do fine until we draft an edge rusher and develop him. And let's not forget about the rotation. Zach Pickens, Javon Dexter Sr. Now we're cooking with something, baby. Now we're cooking with something. In your opinion, since Washington is under new ownership, they want to make a splash draft pick like Caleb. Yes, he's that's the most high-profile position in sports, and he's from that area. He's from that area. They're going to want him. They're going to want him, and they should want him. They should want him because he's going to bring them back to prominence very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. That's why I think Justin Fields stays. We trade that pick, get a haul, add more players, and this Bear team is playoff bound in 2024 and serious NFC Championship contenders in 2025. Mark my words. But let's take a quick break. Another quick break, and on the other side, my man Frank Arriaga is going to join us all the way down from Texas. You sure it's not Tijuana? You're not across the border, bro? No, I'm kidding. My man Frank on the other side, baby. So don't go anywhere. We're going to talk NFL playoffs. I am fired up. Woo! Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
To run for 17, back he goes, here comes Chubb, there goes the ball, touchdown, Mooney! Jones back at the left tackle, time for Fields, now he'll accelerate to get the first down, great tackles, and he's off to the races, oh, he got a terrific block.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine. Marking a path for the next generation.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back.
3rd and 6. Love floats one deep, a trip to Dobbs, and there's a penalty on the play.
My play call from their coverage look.
3rd down. Blitz is coming. Purdy has it blocked. Floating one downfield for Kittle. He's got it. Touchdown, San Francisco. It's Love. Couple fakes going wide open in the end zone. It is melted as he gets the feet down. He is touchdown. McCaffrey scores. 49ers in front. We need at least 25 yards. Love pressure up the middle. Runs away. Throws across his body, and that is picked. 49ers have it. Greenlaw still up. He needs to get down. Greenlaw still on his feet.
He's got to go down.
Just go down and the game's over.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Fox. Yeah, what the hell was he doing? What's wrong with you? What the hell's wrong with you? All you need is someone to come out from behind, pop that thing out, and Green Bay has the ball back. Like, come on, man. Like, there's no time for heroes at that particular point. You made the heroic play. You got the pick. You get up. You take a few steps. You slide. Hell, just get the play and just sit there. Green Bay will come and tag you. Yeah, I'd have been mad as hell. I would have been mad too, like Kyle Shanahan. Like, what the hell are you doing, fool? Whew. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Oh, man, Roberto, what's up, Baba? Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yeah. Listen, my guest today, I'm excited to have him on. It's been a minute. We get to talk some NFL action. These games over the weekend were awesome. These games were awesome. And pretty soon my Bears will be in the postseason. I say this season coming up in 2024. But let's talk about what we have this year. We're in the Final Four. Championship Sunday is this week. I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to my guy. It's good to have him back after a long hiatus. He's from the WBM Network. All right, you can find him on Twitter at WBM Network. All right, so welcome back to Shawn and Maya, my guy Frank Arriaga. Frank from Texas. What's up, Papa? How are you?
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I am wonderful. Let me tell you, wonderful. Green Bay lost because they suck. I'm happy.
Well, let me tell you something. Living here in Dallas, we couldn't believe what we saw. Wild card weekend. You know, Dallas, as you know, was the number 2 seed, and for Green Bay to come into Jerry World, as they call it down here, and just destroy the Cowboys and beat them once again. But it is nice to see the 49ers do what they did to Green Bay. And, you know, you notice a theme here that, Green Bay beats Dallas, but yet Green Bay can't beat San Francisco.
Can't beat them. Can't beat them all the way back to
in the 90s, it was Dallas could beat Green Bay, but Green Bay would beat San Francisco. Now it's the other way around.
Yeah, it was, and I'm telling you, I anytime I get a chance to take a shot at Green Bay fans, those cow tips.
And I got things I want to say about them in just a minute.
Anytime I get a chance to take a shot at them, I will. The little cheeseheads, I just can't stand them. So this weekend's games were exciting. It was a weekend full of fun. The only thing that sucks about championship weekend is that there are only 2 games. Divisional, there's 4. Like, but let's talk about that Packers Niners game. Close. All right. I thought Green Bay was. I thought that San Fran was going to have a little have it under control a little more. But you know what? Green Bay shows they can develop quarterbacks. All right. They did with Aaron Rodgers. He sat 3 years behind Brett Favre. And they repeated. You know what? There's a lot to be said for following a recipe that works. They sat Jordan Love for 3 years. People didn't like it. Like, play him. He comes out. This dude he started off kind of slow. And, man, he picked it up at the end. Talk to me about that Green Bay team. As much as I hate them, they're doing a good job developing quarterbacks for the last 30 freaking years. And now it's going to be 40 plus when this guy's done.
You know, as a fellow Bear fan myself, yeah, it's going to be very difficult to witness that all over. Like, oh my God, here the dynasty of quarterbacks. It's like a dynasty in the royal family. It's like, when is this ever going to end? But you know, at the same with that said, I don't understand Green Bay Packer fans, and I say it for this reason. Last week, he put up a brilliant performance against Dallas. It's like Aaron Rodgers all over again, literally.
Yeah.
This week against San Francisco, yes, he threw 2 touchdowns, but he threw 2 interceptions, and particularly that highlight clip that you just showed.
The last
he threw
one,
across. Aaron Rodgers would not have made that kind of a throw. I'm sorry to say, he would not. You know, and now people are saying that it's Brett Favre-ish. So what exactly of the Jordan Love? Yes, he's going to be a top 10 quarterback, no question about it. But is he the kind of quarterback that's going to break your heart like Brett Favre did, or is he going to put up stellar numbers like Aaron Rodgers? So I see it somewhere in the middle, honestly.
And he's got some good receivers. Remember last year, Rodgers was kind of complaining about Watson. Remember the first pass that Aaron Rodgers threw last year to Christian Watson. He dropped it. He beat the dude from the line and dropped it. It would have been a 75-yard touchdown pass, perfect first play of the season. And it was one of the first plays of the season. And he was pissed. And, he kind of put him on blast saying, we got to get together. We got to get better, blah, 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 blah. Well, they got better with Jordan Love, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, and then they got Jaden Reed. They got a nice little squad up there in that, cousin kissing land up there in Wisconsin.
They do. They certainly do. But at the same token, with that said, they lost this game, a game that they should have won. Ain't no way about it. They lost this game. And now, Packer fans are like, they're going to question Jordan Love. But in particularly, I feel sorry for that kicker. He's getting a lot of heat too.
Hey, we know that. We know all about that in a double doink a couple years ago. Oh, my goodness. Cody Parkey.
Yeah, don't remind me.
But, you know what? I was really, really – it was a great game. I'm a big Niners fan. Kittle, awesome. Brendan Ayuk had a good game. But the man, to me, was Christian McCaffrey. Talk to me about that guy and how awesome – what a weapon that guy is.
Well, Christian McCaffrey he's just a special talent. He can run. He can, make the pass, or at least, get the pass from the backfield. He does the little things that drive defensive coordinators crazy because you don't know which direction is he going to go. He's going to go north-south. He's going to go east-west. And then, he's the perfect player in that system with Brock Purdy. I mean, the screen passes work to perfection. Or in this particular case, late in the game, when you knew Green Bay was going to pressure Brock Purdy, what do? They give it to Christian McCaffrey. And when you do that, you leave a little, extra, space in the interior line. And it was very difficult for Green Bay to, defend that.
Yeah. And then Kittle, I thought that was really awesome in the post game presser. He's like, growing up a Bear fan, I was glad we could beat the Packers, the Bears. I was like, that's awesome. I'm telling you, Kittle he might have become my favorite tight end right now. just because of that. I think that was awesome. Let's go to the other NFC game. Let's talk about Detroit. All right, Detroit and talk about a story. All right, talk about a story. It's been over 30 years since they've won a playoff game. They came in, or they were at home again for the second consecutive time. It was Bedlam last week when they won, and they welcomed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield. Talk to me about that game and why do you think the Lions got to where they got and were able to win this game?
Well, I saw this game for most of its entirety. And I got to tell you what, it was high flying in the beginning, high flying in the middle, but I think Detroit was able to seize control late in that game. And certainly, if there was any doubts as to whether Jared Goff can lead a team, he proved it, especially in that last drive when he drove down the field. I mean, it was absolutely impressive because Baker Mayfield had just thrown a touchdown pass to pull to within 7, or was it when they tied the game? And then Detroit, he came right back and just leads an impressive drive. I thought that was the key series of that entire game, because if Tampa Bay is able to stop him and stop the Lions there, then they get the ball back with ample time, and we could have had a different outcome.
I'm happy for Jared Goff, and there's one thing about it that people are forgetting. He did go to a Super Bowl, and they're not forgetting that he went to a Super Bowl, but they're forgetting that he's experienced in getting to that point. So if the Lions have any chance to upset the 49ers, they have the quarterback to do it. They have a quarterback who's won an NFC championship game. They have a quarterback who got to the Super Bowl. Okay, so the most important position in football on the Lions has been to the big game. So he can be a force, a calm presence, okay, going into this NFC championship game against the number 1 seed, the San Francisco 49ers. His steady hand can keep everybody down. Remember back in 91, 92, 91, when the Bulls went to the finals for the first time, like Michael Jordan took over, all right, because everyone else, Michael hadn't been there, but Michael was a star. He took over, so everybody didn't feel the pressure. Michael went off in the first half, okay? Here's Jared Goff. Jared Goff has been there. He has experience, and there's a lot to be said for having a guy who's been there and now bringing another team there. I think it's going to be an interesting game, this NFC Championship game on Sunday. I think the Niners are stacked, but there's something about these damn Lions, man. They just don't quit. They just don't go away. They're like their head coach. They are gritty, and there's just something about them that they always keep themselves in distance of winning.
Well, I'm very, very happy for them. I'm very excited for them. I think it's great for the city of Detroit. As you know, the Pistons are absolutely the worst team in sports right now. The Red Wings, they're trying to come back. And then, of course, baseball's in its offseason. So for the Lions to do what they're doing is absolutely incredible. And I want to point out 3 things here heading into this NFC Championship game. In that, one, we talked about Jared Goff just now. And, yes, he's been to a Super Bowl, but you got to understand, my man, that when he was in L.A., Sean McVay, they didn't embrace him. He might have been the number 1 pick, but he was never really the quarterback that they wanted, I mean, he was unloved. I think it was a great trade when the Rams and Lions made that Matthew Stafford for Jared Goff, and all the attention was on Matthew Stafford, and yes, he delivered for the Rams, but Jared Goff was that forgotten guy. And there was even talk about Detroit wanting to get rid of him and draft the quarterback of their own because they didn't think he was going to be the long-term answer, if you remember that. And now look what he's done. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is that you mentioned 1991, 92. Well, that was the last time the Detroit Lions went to the NFC Championship game. It was the only time they went to the NFC Championship. Yep. And there was absolutely no way they were going to beat the Washington Redskins that year, because that 91 Washington Redskins team is one of the top 10 NFL teams of all time. They had everything. And Detroit was a huge underdog, and there was no way they were going to win at RFK Stadium that year. Fast forward 32 years later, I think they actually have a shot in this game by far, because the Lions of this era are better than that 91 team. And nothing against San Francisco, but that San Francisco team, as good as they are, they're not as dominant as that Redskins team back in 91. So that's point number 2. And then point number 3, the Detroit Lions, they are the North Division champions. If Green Bay, which was a 7th seed, put up this kind of a game against San Francisco, and San Francisco was only won by 3 points, what does it tell you that Detroit has a clear shot to pull off the upset?
Yes, I think my guy Luis put it perfectly. He says, "Get after Purdy, and Purdy makes mistakes." Like, there's a reason he was the last person drafted in the draft. All right, and there's no disrespect to him at all. Okay, but there's certain people who are talented, all right, and then you have people who are not as talented but don't make mistakes for the most part, and that's Purdy. I think Purdy is the epitome of a game manager. I think he's the epitome of not hurting, not turning the ball over. I think he's the epitome of do what you got to do to get the ball to playmakers. Okay, to Brandon Ayuk, to Deebo Samuels, who will find out about his shoulder, to George Kittle, to Christian McCaffrey. Get the ball to those guys. And you know what? He's like, yeah, I'll get the ball to those guys because those guys are playmakers. And I look good. I get the numbers. The numbers, those passing yards on the 2-yard route that Deebo Samuels takes to the house, that extra 47 yards, that goes on my stats too. So he's very adept, and again, no disrespect. Everyone has different levels of talent. And I just the best is this a great game manager. You get after him. I mean, like almost any quarterback, you get after him, yeah, he's going to make mistakes. And I think if the Lions can get after him, he might make some mistakes. And that's secondary for Detroit, Frank. That secondary they're pretty nasty, and I think they can make a lot of plays on that back end.
I believe so too. And no disrespect to Green Bay, but the Lions, their defense is a little bit better than Green Bay. Number one. Number two, I think that all the pressure is on San Francisco to win this game because, this is their third straight trip to the NFC Championship game. But unlike those previous two games that were on the road, this one's in San Francisco. So there's no excuse for them to not win it this year.
They're the number one
But with
seed,
that said, it puts a lot of pressure on them to win. And then number three, even though Detroit's going to be the underdog, and keep in mind, Detroit has not won in San Francisco since 1975. Yeah, it's been that long since they won in San Francisco. Anything can happen. One or two plays here or there, a penalty, a turnover. Like you said, if the Lions defense can, put some pressure on Purdy, he can be vulnerable.
And that's the thing, Frank, is that Detroit doesn't. I used to always say, don't worry, man. Detroit's going to Detroit themselves. They would shoot themselves in the foot. Always. They don't do that anymore. All right. They don't lose games. They don't do dumb shit. They don't have dumb penalties. They don't do that. They're fundamentally sound. They got some really good players in the skill positions. Amon-Ra St. Brown being one of them. David Montgomery being a very solid running back coming from Chicago, choosing Detroit over us. The secondary, dude, they have some quality players. They have some impact players. They just don't shoot themselves in the foot anymore. And that is almost as important as being a great team. If you're a great team and you're a little crazy sometimes or a little wild or unsafe with the ball, that can hurt you when you get a fundamentally sound football team who doesn't turn the ball over. And Detroit, okay, I know we're able to get a lot of turnovers, but Detroit, they're fundamentally sound, man. Like I said, they stay close. And if San Fran, if they can get pressure on Purdy, they might be able to get some picks or some forced fumble, something. And this is the game. Everyone's looking, San Fran got it. San Fran got it. Yeah, not really. We're gonna see how it plays out. Because my guy said in here, you pressure Purdy, he's gonna get the ball up, and that's gonna be a big chance for the Lions to have some short fields, okay, and get on the board rather quickly.
You forgot to mention the rookie Sam Laporta, the tight end.
Oh, yeah, he's a stud too. He's a stud.
And you talk about short down situations. That's where he's going to make his mark. And I think he's to Detroit what Christian McCaffrey is to San Francisco. He's the X factor in this game.
He is. I didn't realize. I didn't expect him to be that good. This dude is a monster. Excuse me.
And Detroit has had problems for a long period of time of not being able to have a good tight end, whether it be drafting or free agency. It's a position where they've struggled for a long time, but I think they finally have found their answer.
You're darn right they did. Let's go over the AFC. Ravens, Texans. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson had a pedestrian day. He had $150 in the air. I think he had 2 tutties. He had over 100 yards rushing for the win. And funny, so when it's interesting, especially for Chicago Bears fans, because when we see that, we're like, wait a minute, those are like Justin Fields numbers. But everyone here, you got this certain faction of the fan base, like, oh, Justin's got to go. He's horrible. He sucks. Like, really? So give me your thoughts on Lamar and the game he had, because they took it to the Texans. The Texans had a nice little story. C.J. Stroud, all right, Will Anderson, Demps. They had a nice little story there. Talk to me about the Ravens.
I've said it from the beginning of the playoffs, and I've said it since late November. I think the Baltimore Ravens are the best team in football. I think this is their year. Nobody can beat them. Just ask San Francisco on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
I mean, they go into San Francisco and they trounced them. And and San Francisco could be the NFC runner-up. And as much as it's been a great story for Detroit, and I hope they do go to the Super Bowl, but whichever team comes out of the NFC, if they're going to have to go against Baltimore, I put my money on Baltimore because Baltimore is just having a special year. They have everything. They've got Lamar Jackson. They've dominated a lot of their games. And they dominated Detroit back in week 6 or 7. I forgot the score of that game, but it was not close. So, yeah, I'd say Baltimore is the best team in football right now.
I've been a big fan of Baltimore as well. I hate to admit it because there's a couple people they've been Baltimore fans a lot longer than we're going back years. So now they're talking their ish, but that's fine. You know, I when you're with a team through their dark times, you have all the right and you have every single right to be with them and flaunt it in our faces when they're doing well. So I'll have to deal with it. But I think I want Baltimore to win. I do. I want Baltimore to win, get to the Super Bowl. I want them to win the Super Bowl. And it has a lot more than it's deeper for me than just football. But, you know, everyone's talking about Lamar and Justin. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's go to the other game, the Chiefs-Bills. That game yesterday, man, in Buffalo, the first time this year is the first time Patrick Mahomes had to go on the road for playoff games. And now in his 6th season starting, Patrick Mahomes is going to his 6th AFC championship game. How the hell do they do it, Frank?
What's that old saying? The more things change, the more they stay the same. Yeah. 3rd straight year, these two teams meet in the postseason. But it was the first time the game has been in Buffalo because the previous two have been in Kansas City. Same old song. The rhyme continues. Patrick Mahomes beats Buffalo when it matters most again, and he did it on the road this time again. It wasn't pretty. I saw that game too, and it just had a weird vibe for both of these two teams. I mean, there were penalties, there was miscues. I mean, yes, Patrick Mahomes won on the road, but he was a little off at times in that game.
Yes, good point. He missed two touchdown throws. I was in a thread with a buddy, a friend, a couple friends of mine, and they were talking. And yeah, here it is, and it was something. Something twice. Here. They're like, oh, it was Matt Nagy's play call. And I said, no. Mahomes overshot the receiver both times. Very un-Mahomes like. There was something wrong with him a little. He wasn't on point. Yeah, good call, Frank. Good call.
And also, I think another big reason why they won this game, and Jim Nantz alluded to it on the CBS broadcast. Buffalo was just banged up on defensively.
Yeah,
I mean they had too many guys that were hurt. Would they have made a difference? They probably could have made a difference. They certainly would have had that momentum that you need, especially on defense at home in the cold, like it was. But when you've got several key players that are not able to play or are limited, we talk about Patrick Mahomes not having the same kind of weapons that he had in previous years. He was still able to go to Buffalo and still was able to dissect, and he had an off game.
He did. Yeah, very un-Mahomes-like. And again, overthrowing receivers a couple of times, missing. You sit there and you lose. You sit there and you're like, how does this guy do it? But here's the thing: they took advantage of those mismatches. All right, getting those linebackers, those backup linebackers who were starting for the injured linebackers, getting them in space, putting them in conflict. And there's a reason that they're starters and then there's backups. Okay, backups aren't usually as athletic. Don't usually have the ability to cover backs or things out of the backfield. And that's what they did. They got guys in motion. By formation, they forced that hand to make the backers cover people, and they couldn't do it. And it sucks. It sucks. And it might work in the regular season because it did for them. Look at the record they had. But when you get to the playoffs, that shit don't work. So great game by Kansas City. No, solid game. And you know what? You said something that was really, really important. You said it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. Kansas City has got to the point they don't care. And they don't care. Did we get the W or not? They got the W. Because we can, and most people will complain, most Kansas City fans or most anti-Kansas City fans, Kansas City haters. Oh, it was ugly. It was this, it was that. Bottom line is they're moving on. And that's what Kansas City, and that's the thing I like about Kansas City. They don't care. They'll put up 50 on you, or if they beat you 17-14, guess what? The result is the same. They get the dub, and that is why this team is always so dangerous with Patrick Mahomes, of course, is because they don't care. They can go into a 15-round fight with you, or they can knock you out in the first round, or however you want it. They can serve it however you want it.
I could not have said that any better myself. But, certainly Patrick Mahomes, he's been there. They've been there. They've done that. They're like that grizzled veteran that like nothing phases them.
Yep.
I mean, you can have a team like Buffalo or anybody else, a young team eager to, beat them. And Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, they're the type of team like, well, unless you beat us, we've been here before. So what else do we have to prove?
Yeah. And talk to me. They're talking about this in the chat right here. What about Kansas City handling this Baltimore defense? Baltimore defense, they've always been known for their defense. All right. Back to the Ray Lewis days and Ed Reed and Terrell Suggs. I get it. Man, do you think Kansas City is going to wilt under the pressure of this Baltimore defense?
All I'm going to say is this. Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, what they did yesterday, Baltimore, their defense is better than Buffalo. Better than Buffalo. They're healthier. Some of those things that if he's off against Baltimore, that could be trouble for Kansas City, because with that said, we've talked about Patrick Mahomes this year. He's been frustrated many times this year, whether it's been the lack of plays, him not having enough help other than Kelsey, obviously, so this is going to be a real good denominator, and we're really going to see what he can do going up in a very, very tough environment against arguably the best team in football. And, even though I mentioned just a minute ago that Kansas City, they've been there, they've done that, it doesn't mean they're going to win every year, because they'll be a team like Baltimore that's just had a better year. And right now they've had the better year. With that said, they've got to prove it. So this is going to be an interesting AFC Championship game, because in one instance, you got Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. They've been to 3 Super Bowls in the last 6 years. They've won 2 of them. They've been there. They know how to do that. Going up against Baltimore and Lamar Jackson, who's probably going to win the MVP.
Yep.
A defense that's reminiscent of their days and the glory days of Ray Lewis. So something's got to give, and I can't wait to see it.
It's going to be the immovable force versus the I forgot it. Something object.
But I think to take another television mark, I think Chris Collinsworth on NBC said it best. There is no Cinderella. You got the 4 best teams. Usually sometimes you have a team that's comes out of nowhere. It could have been Green Bay had they won, but I mean, literally the top 4 teams. Any one of them have the capability to win the Super Bowl. It would not be a shock if any of them. You got the best teams.
And I think that's what the NFL wants, and that's what the NFL wants, because this is a production, it's a show, and they want ratings and they want advertising, and we as fans want best game. Dude, it's going to be hard to top this week's games. It's going to be hard to top, because this week's games, the was it the Bucks? No, the Bills. They missed the field goal. I mean, it just wide right again. It just all the games were they all one score? No, except the Texans game. That one was a blowout. But Packers 24-21. Lions Bucks 31-23. One score game. Ravens 34-10. Yeah, that was the blowout. And then the Chiefs Bills 27-24. 3 of the 4 were one score games. And that's what you want. That's what, and it was cool because I didn't have a dog in the fight. So I was just watching the games and just seeing my friends and other people who had a dog in the fight, and see how anxious they would get, and how they're cursing at the TVs and things of that nature. It's cool to sit back and watch good football. And this is what we're getting now. Playoff football, the divisional round was great. If if Championship Sunday can give us the same type of emotions, man, on this week, we're going to need that 2 weeks off just to recover, because that's going to be insane to try and top the performances of this week's 4 games with just 2 games. But everybody knows what it's about. They're going for you win this, you go to the big dance. It's for all the marbles. You get to go to the Super Bowl in Vegas. So I anticipate good, solid football.
So do I. And just want to allude one more time about the divisional round. You mentioned the 4 scores, but the 1 score that was a blowout, it happened to be the Baltimore Ravens. Need I say more? Why I think they're the best team in football. They were the 1 team out of the 4 that dominated in their victory. Granted, you can say what you want about the Houston Texans. And, the Houston Texans, they got a great future ahead of them. They really do. So props to them. They got C.J. Stroud. They've got some good draft picks coming their way. So, they're a young team. We'll probably hear about them in a year or 2. They had a good year. But Baltimore showed why they're the best team in football. They were the only team this week that won in a blowout.
24 points. That's 3 scores, dude. That's a lot.
Young or veteran, you still won in a blowout. So
yeah. Let me ask you something about Baltimore. And Dan Orlovsky said it, and I played a clip last week, and he talked about wanting that Baltimore has to win the Super Bowl. And he said they have to win the Super Bowl. He said because there are people in this league who don't want people like Lamar to win the Super Bowl. MVPs, okay, that's fine. But they don't want people like Lamar, who look like Lamar, who talk like Lamar, who dress like Lamar, to win Super Bowls. They want Super Bowl quarterbacks to be a certain way. And talk about the importance, if he does win a Super Bowl, if he brings home the Lombardi, what that does for kids in college, kids in high school, and most importantly, young kids who look like Lamar, who talk like Lamar, who come from places like Lamar. What does that do to them when they see someone like that, who could be their uncle, their cousin, or their neighbor, and he wins the Super Bowl championship?
Well, certainly that would have he would have a major impact on future quarterbacks in college, or young quarterbacks that enter into the NFL. But that's another area that we can discuss for another day. Because that's about social issues, and that's also about issues about playing the game the way it should be. And you're right about how the NFL and sponsors and advertisers want a particular look. That's always been the case. But I'm going to change it up another level, in that he's got to win the Super Bowl, not only for that reason, but you got to also understand from a football standpoint too. 2 things. One, Lamar Jackson, should he win the MVP and then wins a Super Bowl, that's only going to enhance his Hall of Fame credentials at some point. So that helps him personally. Yep. But professionally, you have to also understand too, the Baltimore Ravens are in a tough division. You got Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. You got Pittsburgh. Cleveland's coming up. So, there's not going to be many chances where you're going to have an opportunity to win, because you're in a tough division as it is. Then you got to deal with Kansas City. Then you got to deal with Buffalo. Then you got to deal with Miami. And then you're going to deal with an up-and-coming Houston team that's going to certainly want revenge sometime down the line. So it's not that easy, in Lamar Jackson. But I'm talking about from a football standpoint.
There are a lot of good teams in that the AFC. I think there's a lot of great quarterbacks. All right, we haven't even mentioned Justin Herbert. Okay, out in with the Chargers. You know what I mean? There's just a ton of talent. And yeah, it could be a situation where we can go 5 years and have 5 different Super Bowl winners. All right, and because one team got hot, one team made the right moves in the offseason, one team stayed healthy. Okay. It's going to be tough. That AFC is tough. And then once you get out of the AFC, then you got to face the NFC champion. So, yeah, the AFC is but this is what the NFL wanted. They wanted parity. They wanted great teams. They wanted great quarterbacks. They wanted great young quarterbacks. And this is what we got. We got a lot of young, great quarterbacks, a lot of great teams. And, coming out of either the AFC or the NFC, easier to come out of the NFC. But coming out of either, once you get out of the NFC championship, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to get out, because there's just so many good teams, good quarterbacks, and this is going to be the next couple of years of the NFL. I mean, I think they're on the precipice of just having, I mean, the most parity in any league, just because of all the different quarterbacks and different teams and how easily teams can go from worst to first, like someone does every year, like hell, Houston Texans. You know what I mean? So I think this is we're entering a really, really good time for NFL football.
I think so too. And we talk about the AFC and all their young quarterbacks and teams, but let's not forget about the NFC. I don't think Jared Goff and the Lions are going to go anywhere. I think they'll be right back in it. Depending on what happens this year. We know what Jordan Love can do, in Green Bay. Brock Purdy, we've seen what he can do in San Francisco. And then, say what you want about Dak Prescott. He's still a good quarterback with the Dallas Cowboys. You got Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia. And then, of course, you've had a resurgence of Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay.
Yep.
And, depending on what the Bears do, in their quarterback situation, I mean, it's only a matter of time before the NFC, like you said, with the AFC. I mean, these next 2 to 3 years could be such a dominant time. You don't know who's going to win because you're going to have so many good teams in both conferences.
Yep, and that's exactly what the NFL wants. You want great teams because at the end of the day, you want this championship Sunday to be the top 4 teams, to be good. We talked about the Cinderella, and they're nice, they're great stories, but the 4 best teams, I truly think are here. Frank, talk to me a little bit about what do you think the Bears are going to do this number 1 overall pick? Do you think they're keeping it and drafting Caleb Williams, or do you think they're keeping Justin, trading the pick for a haul of picks and most likely a player?
Well, I'm glad you asked me that. But before I do, I just want to make sure that if you knew about the breaking news, that it looks as if the Bears are going to hire a new offensive coordinator from Seattle.
Oh no, we talked about. We got that one.
And I say that for this reason. He comes from the Sean McVay system.
Yep.
How is that going to impact what he can do? I mean, certainly he's got more experience than Luke Getsy did. When he was up. But still, with that said, I don't know. I think the Bears could have waited another day or two. Personally, I wanted either Byron Leftwich or Eric Bieniemy. That was who I really wanted. And they did reach out to Kellen Moore, but the Chargers said no.
Yeah.
So you can't say fans of the Bears are upset that they didn't go after a high profile. I mean, they did, and they was turned down.
Yep.
So with that said, I would have put in a vote for Eric Bieniemy or Byron Leftwich, personally. But with that said, since they're going to be hiring Shane, that, what the Bears do with the number 1 pick, I got to tell you, I mean, there's so many ways they can go about this, but it hurts at the same token because there's still a lot of lingering questions about Justin Fields. Or there's, if you trade him and then you draft Caleb Williams, is that the guy you really want? It's not like one of those drafts where, it's Andrew Luck or, it's, a Peyton Manning or something like that. Like, no, we're taking this pick. You don't have that. I mean, it's the second year in a row that the Bears have the number 1 pick. They can do whatever they want. But in the 2 years they have the number 1 pick, the quarterbacks coming out of college, they're not considered blue chip. I mean, it's like they have a lot of questions. So it's like, with that said, what I would do, since Washington and New England are going to be wanting quarterbacks as well, and I also believe the Giants are going to be, in the New York Giants, who've got the 5th pick, are also going to be in the hunt for a quarterback, as well as New Orleans, from the sources that I've heard, that if I'm the Bears, I would at least try to trade down to 3, and I say for this reason because, Marvin Harrison Jr., one of the best wide receivers I've seen coming out a long time. That would be a deadly, but you have to make sure you're in a position you don't want to fall too far if you do trade,
right?
Because you won't be able to get him. Now, with that said, I can't pronounce his last name correctly, but that wide receiver from Washington, Romy, he's pretty good too.
He is.
So he's not not a bad alternate. But if you have a chance to get the best wide receiver who's going to come out in recent memory, I would do everything in my power to take him, because at that point you can then get a quarterback. And I'm going to throw a wild card. I'm going to throw a wild card.
Spit it.
Because the Bears have Carolina's 2nd round pick from that trade last year, which is also high. I mean, yes, they lost their pick to Washington for the trade they made. The wild card is I still really believe. I don't know why he's not getting a lot of love, but that quarterback from Michigan, McCarthy, who just won the national championship,
JJ.
Yeah.
I
he's definitely up there, and I think that he would be worthy of a second round pick because I don't think he's going to fall too far, going to the third or fourth. But that's just my thought.
Okay. I'm giving. Here's what I'm looking at. I think there's actually a chance for a double trade back, so you could trade 1 to 2 with Washington for the reasons I mentioned earlier, but now you're at 2, and if New England feels that their quarterback is going to be gone, I know Jared Mayo said they're not trading, they're taking the best player available at that particular spot. Okay, cool. But if you get the quarterback situation right, it's going to help bring that team along sooner. So it may be above his pay grade whether or not they trade a pick, because he said they weren't trading. Again, that might be above his pay grade. So if you could trade back with them, with New England, or trade to 4, because that's the Arizona Cardinals. If you could trade with New England, you might be able to go 1 to 2 and 2 to 3, get a nice haul from both, combined with both teams, and still get Marvin Harrison Jr. And then with the 9th pick, I'm torn, Frank. I don't know if I want to get Olu, that left tackle, or if I want to go get Brock Bowers. And and
that's what I want to talk about. That's what I wanted to ask you, since you're a Bears fan. I mean, all the talk about is what they're going to do with the number 1 pick, but what are they going to do with the 2nd pick that they have in the first round, which is the 9th? But nobody's talking. Do they trade down at that point?
You could very well do that, get more picks, but I would say it's either Olu if he's still there. If Olu's gone, then no, there's not even a question. Brock Bowers, because I want that same. You got an offensive coordinator now who knows how to use people. Now you got 2 tight ends who are going to be productive and who can block and catch. This is what I'm talking about. Now we're going back to the Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski, minus the murders, of course, situation with New England. You got 2 stud tight ends. You can go 12 personnel. You can go 22 personnel. You can go 12 personnel and have these guys flex out as wide receivers. I like that ability that they'll have to run multiple formations and literally not take guys off the field.
And I agree with you, and that's a good scenario. But on the other hand, with that 2nd pick, which is the 9th overall selection, by that point, as far as quarterbacks are concerned, you start to talk about that guy from Washington, Michael, and then from Oregon, Bo Nix. Other teams might inquire about that. Do the Bears trade at that point? Because if there are other teams who are quarterback hungry, and you get a good package,
Frank, Ryan Poles is never afraid to trade. If someone wants to come up and give him more picks, see, remember, people seem to forget the one thing about Ryan Poles is that he's been very adamant. He's been very consistent with his message, and everything he says he's going to do, he's done. He's talking about building through the draft. He's talking about not overspending in free agency. He's talking about one other thing, good character. He's drafting good character people. He's going to get more draft picks. He wants to build this team through the draft because now you have 4 years of at a moderate expense for whatever position for all these people, which is another reason why I think that they keep Justin, because I hope I didn't delete it. Look at the haul we got from last year's number 1 pick. All right. This is the haul. Panthers got the number 1 overall pick. We got DJ Moore from the Panthers. We swapped picks. We got Darnell Wright. We got their 2nd round pick that turned into Tyreek Stevenson. By the way, we also got the number 1 overall pick this year. And then right before we were going to pick, we traded with Philly so they can go get Jalen Carter. And then we got their 4th round pick this year. And then we have Carolina's 5th round pick. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players, Frank. 6 players, and for that number 1 pick last year. We do that again? And Darnell Wright, first team all rookie. Tyreek Stevenson, second team all rookie. We do that again. You get 6 more players as well as future draft, or 6 more players / draft picks. That's how you build a team, because now we'll have 2 first rounders in this class in 2024, 2 first round picks in 2025, 2 first round picks in 2026. That's how you build a team, when you have a whole slew of first and second round picks.
My finality of all this, when it's all said and done, I do agree with, you keep Justin Fields. What I would do if I'm the Bears, first thing I would do, trade down to at least no lower than the number 3 pick. That way you ensure you'll get Marvin Harrison Jr. That's the guy I want. That's the guy I want.
You, me, and all of Bear Nation.
Knowing the fact that New England, Jared Mayo, the new head coach, that's a lie. He knows he needs a new quarterback. Mac Jones, and I don't even know the backup quarterback in New England. They're not going to cut it. So, they're going to go for a quarterback. So, and like I said, the Giants and the Saints are also interested in a quarterback developing. So, I would trade no worse than the 3rd pick. And then with the 2nd pick that you have in the 1st round, which is the 9th overall pick, unless you get a really good trade offer, and, like I said, you can't rule that out, because, at that point, you got those 2 other quarterbacks from Washington and Oregon. At that point, teams are going to be get the last of the best from the batch, unless you get a good offer, then at that point, then I would, I might go the defensive route, unless tight end Brock Bowers is still available.
Yeah, if we get Brock Bowers, man, and he might be depending on who wants quarterbacks, depending on who wants offensive linemen, who wants tackles, because don't forget you got Joe Alt from Notre Dame along with Olu. All right, you got the 2 quarterbacks, Drake May and Caleb Williams. All right, there's players. There's players, the wide receivers.
And you got to draft off. You have to draft offense, because if you're going to compete and beat Green Bay at some point, you got to match firepower with firepower in your own division. Yes, you need defense, but I'm convinced you can find good defensive players in the 2nd and 3rd round. The Bears have done that historically in the past, and have found some good, decent value. I mean, the guy they drafted last year from Miami, who I love, by the way, I think he's a great player.
Yeah.
Yes. But, in the early rounds, you got to go offense, because, I'm tired of talking to everybody. I'm pretty sure you're tired of it too. When are we going to beat Green Bay? Well, you know what? If you have offense firepower like you could have, then you do it with the first 2 picks.
Yeah. It's gonna be crazy. Frank, listen, great stuff, buddy. Glad to have you back. Man, great talking to you. Do me a favor, though. Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
All right. Well, like I said, we got my social media platforms. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook Messenger. I'm also right there, Frank Arriaga at WBM Network. That's my Twitter, by the way. So, so that's where you can find me right now. Yes, I'll admit the website's down right now, but it's under construction, and it's going to look fascinating in the months to come.
Awesome, baby. Awesome. We'll keep you in touch, and we'll talk a lot more, man. It's good talking to you, Papa. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All righty. Guys, that's Frank Arriaga from down in Texas, from WBM Network down there, talking NFL action. I'm telling you, it's going to get exciting. It's going to get exciting. What do the Bears do? I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. I tell you my hypothesis, my thought, what I feel they should do, but we don't really know. And because if they follow my way, man, you'll have some faction of the fan base that'll be mad. But who cares? I don't really give a damn. I'd have my way would be the best, of course. It'd be the best. I love it. I love it. But no, it's going to get interesting. You got the draft coming up soon, and you got the Senior Bowl down in Mobile. It's going to be fun covering this team for a while. And the cool part about it is we don't have the one thing about it, we're not going to have the staff like we did last year. If you recall, this is the worst 2 teams. Their coaching staffs get to be the coaches of the 2 teams. Well, that's not us this year. It'd be funny if we got that perk along with the 1st round pick. If that was one of the perks for the 1st round pick, and you get to be the coaching staff again at Mobile at the Senior Bowl, the Reese's Senior Bowl of Mobile, Alabama. That would be dope. Along with that 1st round pick comes you ability to be the coach for one of the teams in the Senior Bowl. That's great. That's great, but that's not how it's going to work. But it's going to be fun. I can't describe how excited I am for this offseason. All right. One of the things that we talked about was the quarterback coach. Who's going to be the quarterback coach? Who's going to be there in case Shane Waldron leaves after a year or two? All right. Who can pick up the mantle? Who can keep that offense going? See, that's the most important thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of drafting a tight end in the top 10. I can think of one tight end that was worth top 10, maybe Vernon Davis. I get you. I hear you. So maybe you go draft Olu. Maybe you draft Marvin Harrison Jr. with your first pick. Maybe you draft Olu with your second pick. And then with the second round pick, because let me see something. That's going to be first pick in the second round. Yeah. With your second round pick, there's one of two things. You can go get Brock Bowers in your second round, or you can get a center. The kid Cedric Van Pran, the kid from Georgia, or the center from Oregon. One of those two. That's a nice upgrade. Center with your second round pick, Olu with your 9th overall pick, Marvin Harrison Jr. with your first pick, wherever it falls. That's a nice little addition to this offense. Or you could trade back. DE with the 9th pick, trade back. But let's not forget, here's the one thing that we're forgetting. That can be taken care of in free agency. That could be taken care of with the pick, with the trade of this number 1 pick. Remember, we got DJ Moore last year. Remember that. And I'm telling you, that's what Ryan Poles is going to do. Everybody wants Caleb. Caleb this, Caleb that, Caleb this. He's generational. He's going to be the next Tom Brady. He's going to win 13 Super Bowls. Okay, good. Then you got to pay me what he's worth, what you think he's worth. I'm telling you, Ryan Poles should ask for the 24, 25, and 26 first-round picks and a player. You know what? Give me a second-round pick and a player. Since you want Caleb Williams so bad. And that'll give us 2 picks in the first round in 2024 this season, 2025 next season, 2026 the following season. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Told you, that's how you build a team. That's how you build a competitive team. First and second round picks. Yeah, you're going to find your diamonds in the rough. But give me a whole bunch of first and second rounders to develop on a team. Yeah, that's what I like. That's what I'll take. And let's not forget the coaching. I'm excited. Once this whole Justin Fields debacle is over, once they announce that they're trading the number 1 pick to Washington, and watch it, I'm telling you, it makes too much sense. All right, it's too much. Again, think of Derrick Rose to the Bulls. What did that do for Chicago? What did it do? How nutso was this city? Southside boy. Bringing the Bulls back to prominence. Then you got DMV boy, who's going to bring the Washington organization hopefully back to prominence. There's a lot. It makes sense. Magic Johnson's part of that ownership group. Like I said, it makes sense. The politics, it makes sense. Dude, that is crazy. It will be crazy. Yeah, you wrote earlier, you can't let Marvin Harrison Jr. snag. No, we cannot let him go by. No. Yeah, cannot let him go by. I'm okay with DeMarcus Walker. Because if you trade with Washington, and again, if you get Deron Payne, I'm more than okay with DeMarcus Walker. All right, and we can draft an edge rusher later in the second or third round. Even if it's just a one-trick pony. Mark Anderson. Whatever happened to Terrell Lewis? That outside backer, the end from Alabama, that was having a great spring. A great training camp, and then J2K, Walls of Jericho. If we sign Danielle Hunter, I will crap my pants happily. Remember, that's what I was saying. I said, hey, go after Danielle Hunter. Go after Danielle Hunter. Put him on the opposite side of Sweat. Man, now we're cooking with fat. Now we're cooking with grease. No, Luis, I don't think so. I don't think so. The Bears never pass for over 4,000 yards. You won't be good until you can pass. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think you need 4,000 yards. And that's the one thing. Oh, you got to get a 4,000. You got to pass. The thing is win. Win. That's the most important thing. What if Justin passed for 3,400 yards and has another 1,100-yard season on the ground? Well, guess what? His touchdowns are going to be up. Average is going to be up. I don't think the numbers, that the stat doesn't mean anything. Okay, it shows that you can play in this NFL, but ask what that means. Ask Dan Marino how throwing over 4,000 yards, how important that is. Ask all the quarterbacks who's thrown over 4,000 yards how important that is to hold the Lombardi Trophy. Ask them. Brock Heward said it best, and I liked it. He said that what the Bears should do is bully ball. The weather's crappy here in the end of the season. All right, you won't be able to throw the ball all over the field until we get our indoor stadium. Just bully people. Beef up the offensive line. Run the God-blessed ball again and again. Have Justin Fields do a lot of Justin Fields stuff. Have him run when necessary, scramble. And let's not act like he can't throw. You saw in the highlights he can throw. I love it when people say he can't throw, he can't read defense, he can't. Like, oh boy. Oh, jeez. He said just be bullies. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Man, well, listen, 2 hours is coming and gone. I want to thank everyone in the chat. What a fun. Well, first of all, I want to thank Frank Arriaga for coming on, talking NFL action with us. I appreciate it. And I want to thank you guys in the chat. Man, you guys are jumping. Luis, J2K, the Walls of Jericho, Roberto Ramirez jumped in as well. Derek Carr, DC's in the house. Jason's in the house. Armando, my man, Junior's in the house. Dude, I love it. I love it. Cornelius, I don't know if I said you or any. No, I think I said Shawn. Well, I appreciate the love and support. At 12:15, we have Second City Sports. At 6 o'clock tonight, the return of What's Up, Cuz. Jason and Lance will be on. All right, and this show will be on 10 o'clock after Jason and Lance's show. This show will re-air at 8 p.m. So listen, for everybody here at Sports Zone Chicago, okay, executive producer Elliot Baez, social media guy Clarence Council III, my co-host in absentia Maya Kai. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Guys, have a wonderful day. It's a little rainy out there, but don't worry. We'll just be careful. Careful of the ice. All right, I'm your boy. I am out.